Hi everybody and welcome to this video. My name is Sarah Lean and I'm a cloud advocate at Microsoft. In this video I want to talk about my career in IT and I want to also answer questions I've been sent by young people who are interested in a career in IT. So I've been in IT for about 14 years now and I've been in that career since I left university. And I've had various roles throughout those 14 years. I've always described my time in IT as working through an apprenticeship. So when I left university, I went into a job that was a first level help desk operator. And what a first level help desk operator does is answer that phone and triage those IT issues that an organisation and end users have. So I was the person on that end of the phone that was taking those calls when people said, I've forgotten my login password, or my printer doesn't work, or my monitor screen isn't turning on, or they needed a new laptop or a new desktop. And it was really my job to log those calls and try and fix them if I could. So I had powers to try and reset people's passwords. I was able to try and troubleshoot some of the printing issues remotely. And back then we didn't have a lot of the video technology that we have nowadays, or even the remote control technology that we have that allows us to take control of other people's PCs and help them through some of their issues. So a lot of the stuff that I learned during that time wasn't just technical, it was also customer service skills. I learned how to deal with people over the phone when I couldn't see their reactions to my questions. I couldn't see the problem that they were facing in front of them. So that job was a great starter for me to build up my IT knowledge, but also a great starter for me in terms of building up my customer service skills as well. After that role, I slowly climbed the ladder. So I worked through various different jobs doing first level support, so more triaging of calls. I then had a second level support job, which meant I wasn't always on the phones, but I was dealing with those calls that the help desk logged that the help desk couldn't fix remotely, or they didn't have the permissions or the skill set to do that. And then that was me, and I was the second level person that would go out maybe on site. So I'd often have to go to other offices that my company had and fix those issues, or try and fix them, the ones that required longer triaging, that required more time to actually resolve. And after that, I moved into a third level job. And when you're at the third level of the kind of support engineering line, that's when you start to fix the big problems that first level couldn't fix, second level couldn't fix, and now you are there holding that support ticket and trying to resolve it. And it could be that you need to look at maybe engaging a whole project. So it could be that something is massively broken and you need to escalate that, and you need to start dealing with the supplier of the software or the hardware, or even have to look at potentially saying that it's unresolvable, it's a bug and it can't be resolved, or it's just the way the system works and you kind of have to deal with it. And I've done those 3 levels of support, and again you learn not only the IT systems and the exposure to all these IT systems, but you get to learn about customer service. And as you move through those tiers of support, you get a different level of customer service. So at the first level, you're probably dealing with most people on the phone or via email or some kind of communication that is not in person. Second level, you'll be doing it a wee bit maybe more in person. And third level, chances are you'll probably be in person, because the fault's been in the system for quite a while and you have to go and deal with that and start to deal with those people. So I've had, that is the various different roles that I've had. I've also had consultancy roles where I work for companies that sell IT. So companies that dedicate in providing IT support to other companies. And that role is, again, very, very different. So you're not dealing with support queries as such. You're now dealing with system design, system architecture, and looking at how you can implement new solutions or upgrade existing solutions for those companies. So you're not as such dealing with end users anymore. You're more dealing with people that own the company, or IT directors or IT stakeholders or project managers, and having to integrate with them and look at their systems. That job can be really rewarding because you're actually using all the skill sets that you have to integrate into this other company, a company that you maybe only have had a couple of conversations with, and you've had to quickly adapt to their surroundings and understand their environment and the issue they have, and then come up with a solution for it. As part of being an IT consultant, there's also a bit of a sales role within that. So you're designing systems for people and trying to convince them that your solution is the best solution, and justify why you've picked certain IT systems or certain versions of software so that they can fix this issue. And often you have to turn into that salesperson because the solution you have designed could actually be quite expensive. So you have to justify it, and you have to be designing those systems to the best of your ability and to the customer's solution as well. So that's my kind of career in a nutshell. Hopefully that makes sense. Now I want to switch over to questions that I've had around young people looking to actually join a career in IT. So I've got the questions on my screen, so apologies if I look down every now and again to read the questions, but let's have a go at this. So the first question I want to answer is, when did you realise you wanted to go into computing science? When I was a youngster, I didn't really want to do computing as my first career choice. When I was young, I grew up on a farm. I grew up on a dairy farm, and I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed being outside and working with the animals and doing that lifestyle. And that was the first career I wanted to do, something in farming. I actually wanted to go to agricultural college and study farming. However, I was actually ironically talked out of doing that because it's a male-orientated environment, farming, or it was when I was a youngster. And I then started to look at other things, and I considered teaching and even considered for a while being a lawyer, but I ultimately settled on computing science because I found that I was helping friends and family and even some teachers at my school how to do things on the computer, and it came quite naturally, and that's how I ended up actually going into IT. I decided that it was something fun, and it was something that I was actually naturally quite good at. So that was how my career in IT actually started. So from the moment, the question I've got here is, from the moment you realised you wanted to go into computing, how long has it taken you to get to the position you are in now? So I was probably about 14 or 15 when I decided I wanted to go into IT. And I went through 2 further years at high school, and then I went to college or university for 3 years. So that's 5 years of education that I had. I then had a year where I finished university and couldn't get an IT job, so I was working in retail, and then I started on my career. So it's probably been 20 odd years before I actually got to the job that I'm in at the moment. But yeah, everybody's journey into IT is going to be slightly different. I went to university. Not everybody that I know, not everybody that I work with, and not everybody that has high level positions in IT went to university and studied IT. I know of several people who have left high school and then went into a kind of an apprenticeship where they just were given a job in IT, and they've basically had hands-on learning. So IT, I don't think, is a job that you necessarily need to go to university for in order to follow through on. You could leave high school and then just get a job in IT and get hands-on experience and learn that way. There's tons of people that do that. So it's definitely not a career I think you need to have decided on by the time you're maybe 12 or 13 when you're starting to pick subjects. It can be something you decide to do later on in life if you wanted to. So talking about how I actually got into IT, as I said, it was quite late on when I decided. So I think I was probably about 14 or 15 when I decided. And at that point, I'd went through high school and not picked any computing subjects. I hadn't studied computing for those years at high school, and I decided that IT was something I wanted to do, and in order to get into the university or college course that I wanted to get to, I actually had to have a pass in what we called Hires in Scotland. To actually go on that college course, I had to have the computing hire on my resume. So at that point, it was really hard, and I had to crash the computing science at my high school. So that involved me having to actually speak to the head of the computing department and saying that yes, I wanted in this computing class because I was serious about it. It wasn't something that I was just using to fill my timetable, and I had to go through that process. So for me, it was quite unnerving to decide that late on in my young life that I wanted to do something and potentially couldn't do it because I hadn't picked the right subjects. But thankfully my computing teacher, the head of the computing department at my high school, was quite positive about this career choice and let me into the class, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. So if you're sitting there and you're maybe at that stage where you're third year or fourth year in Scotland, which is about 14, 15, 16, for people who are not in Scotland, and not picked computing science but want to do it, go and speak to your computing science teacher, go and speak to the head of that department and ask them their advice. Everybody's going to be different, every school's going to be different, they're going to have different sizes of classes and different needs, etc. So go and speak to them, ask them their advice, speak to guidance counsellors or career advisors within your school, and speak to them about the options that are available at your school or even surrounding areas. I know some colleges are now doing courses that some youngsters can go on to during their time during the week and go to that college and learn so that they can get more experience for their university courses as well. So don't despair if you're suddenly, in third or fourth year and deciding to go into computing science and are struggling to figure out the right path. Go and speak to your teachers and ask them their advice. They're the best people that will be able to help you. So when I went to college, my course was quite a mix of things. I had lots of theory classes, lots of classes where I had to learn the OSI model, which is the Open Systems, and I can never get this right, so I'm going to read it, the Open Systems Interconnection Model, which is really the conceptual model of how these telecommunications or computing systems actually work, and there's 7 layers to that. So I had college courses that talked about that and talked about the conceptual mechanisms of computing. I also had computing courses that were about programming, so I had to write lines and lines of code, and then I had other ones that helped me in human resources or management of my time, project management. It was a wide variety of things that I had to learn. I quickly identified early on that I didn't enjoy the programming side of things. That was definitely not the side that I wanted to be in. I didn't want to be a developer within the IT industry. I was more in love with designing the systems, looking at the infrastructure, looking at the back end, looking at things like authentication, how the servers were working, how the backups were working, how disaster recovery worked. If something happened to these servers, how would we get things back up and running? Looking at networking, the security side of things, all of that back end infrastructure that everything really runs on, that every company has, even your Facebooks, even your WhatsApps that have the servers at the back end that run everything on that. That was the level that I wanted to concentrate on. I wanted to look at the infrastructure side of things and not the developer, not the programming side of things. So my college course was really quite good in that sense. Yes, there were some classes that I didn't enjoy, if I'm being honest, but they taught me the bits of IT that I didn't like and the bits of IT that I really, really liked. So that was really important for me as well. During my college course, I got the opportunity to do a placement. So during one of my summers at college, I actually worked for a company on their help desk, on their first level help desk, and I got paid for this experience. It was a kind of temporary role just during my summer, and I think friends of friends and the college helped to organise that, if I remember right, and that was really valuable experience. Again, I got some hands-on experience. I got to able to translate some of my college course into helping actual people and seeing if what I wanted to learn was actually right. So like I said, I decided that I wanted to be in the infrastructure side of things, and actually had that job, that work experience helped me solidify that decision, and I really enjoyed that as well. So as I said at the start of the video, I'm a cloud advocate at Microsoft, and a cloud advocate is someone that evangelises technology to other people. So a lot of my job is going to community events, so whether that be conferences or local user groups or virtual events. I go to them and speak to people about what they're up to, what they are enjoying, what they're not enjoying about some of the products. And for Microsoft, that's our cloud product, so that's Microsoft Azure. And I talk to them about, again, like I said, the good and the bad of it, take their feedback and then feed it back into the engineering teams that actually design these systems, and talk to them about how we can work with our customers to either make it a better experience or explain to our customers why it works in a certain way. Now, that's just one part of my job. Other parts of the job involve looking at writing blog posts, creating videos around some of the content, and just trying to be that connection between our customers, our community, and our engineering teams. If you told me 5-10 years ago that I would be in this type of role, I would have said, absolute nonsense. It's not something that I enjoy. I have always enjoyed the hands-on part of IT, the doing part of IT. Now I don't implement IT systems, I don't really support IT systems. I'm really just talking to people about IT, and I never would have thought I'd enjoyed this so I'm naturally an introvert, somebody that doesn't, is quite shy in large gatherings of people and stuff, but that's a large part of my job now, and you know what? I actually really enjoy it. I found over the last 2 or 3 years that speaking to people, hearing their story, hearing their feedback, and then helping them if they have issues is something that I really, really enjoy. So this is a great role for me at the moment, and I've been in it for about 6 months now, and I'm just looking forward to growing in this role and going forward at Microsoft. So my office is based at home. So I've been working from home for about 2 years now, and I have my own room in the house. I have a desk, I have my laptop and monitor, I've got my webcam, I've got a comfy seat, I've got everything in my office that you would have if you were in an actual office for a company. When I'm not here, I am travelling, so my job is a bit of 50-50 of working from home, and then the rest of the time I'm travelling around at different events. So my daily duties in the current role that I'm in vary quite a bit. So this week I've been speaking to a lot of my colleagues remotely, so just having catch-up chats with them and seeing what they're working on, telling them what I'm working on, and just bouncing ideas off each other. Next week I've got a lot of blog post writing that I want to do, so I've got lots of ideas for writing blogs, so I need to spend some time next week writing those blogs as well. So my week and my days can vary, and I think that's what's always drawn me into IT. I love the variety. I love the fact that every day is different. Yes, you probably still have IT problems to fix every day, but every day there's a new IT problem and something that's different, and you have to think about it differently, and you have to approach it from different angles sometimes in order to fix it. So the variety of IT really keeps me engaged at the moment. So a question I've been asked is, do I need any qualifications for the job I'm in at the moment? I don't think so for a cloud advocate. I think being passionate, being able to communicate well, and having a base knowledge of IT and being able to learn quite quickly is something that every cloud advocate, I think, needs to have. That hunger for learning, that hunger for knowledge, and that hunger for sharing is probably all the qualifications you need for a cloud advocate. So like I said, I've been working for Microsoft for about 2 years now, and ever since I decided that I wanted to be in IT, working for Microsoft has always been my dream. One of the founders of Microsoft is Bill Gates, and he used to run the company. He doesn't anymore. At the moment it's Satya Nadella that runs the company, but when I was a kid and when I was thinking about my IT career, I always dreamed of working for Bill Gates. And I remember that quite clearly, sitting playing with my computer and realising that I would love to work with Bill Gates one day and be in the same room as him. So yeah, I've always dreamed about working for Microsoft, and it really is a dream come true that I am working for them right now. They're a great employer to work with. I really encourage anybody that likes to that is working in IT to strive towards working for Microsoft. They're a great company to work for. They make great products. We have lots of different roles at the moment available. If you're looking to, leave college and get into the IT industry, we do have roles for graduates. We do have some schemes where you can go to college half of the week, and then the rest of the week you're getting hands-on learning, working actually with Microsoft and some of the other colleagues. You can find those opportunities at careers.microsoft.com, and I'll put the link in the show notes below. But that's where all our career information is. So regardless of what part of your journey you're on, whether you're still at college or you're in high school or college, or even, you've left and you've been in IT for a few years, you can find out the opportunities that are available at Microsoft on our careers website. So right now we are in the midst of a pandemic in the world. So the coronavirus, or COVID-19, is currently affecting all of us at the moment in different stages around the world. Here in Scotland, we're currently on lockdown at the moment, which means we have to really stay at home and only leave for essentials. This has kind of changed how my job works. As I said earlier on, a large part of my job is travelling to different parts of the world, and I can't do that at the moment, so I'm having to change how I interact with the community, how I deliver some of the presentations that I want to, some of the knowledge that I want to, and how I get feedback from our products and how they're working in the field, and get that feedback back to our engineering teams. So I'm having to look at doing more videos, presenting remotely, so having my home office set up so that it is in a professional setup, so that I can present and have good quality. So I've got a high quality webcam, a high quality microphone as well, and some lighting to make everything look professional and almost replicate that stage performance or that professional studio that I sometimes have access to use as part of my job. But as I said, I've worked from home for 2 years now, so I have had a lot of this stuff already and it's set up for me, but I've just had to adjust slightly and add some things to help me now that we're having to work at home and stay at home because of the pandemic. So one question is there any downsides or negatives from your job? I'm not sure anything is massively negative. I think some days I get a bit frustrated. Some days I get a little bit lonely, if I'm honest. Working from home, I miss that kind of interaction that you have with office colleagues, the random chats that you might have when you go to get a cup of coffee, or lunch dates that you might make with some of your colleagues, and making those connections. Sometimes I miss that, but I've found ways of getting around that. But yeah, I think that's maybe the only downside at the moment of my job. As I say, some days are frustrating because I don't make the progress on a certain task the way that I want to, but I don't think there's any massive negatives at the moment. I really enjoy my job, and to be honest, throughout my career, if I've not enjoyed what I've been doing, I've changed job, I've looked for something else, I've moved on to that next thing and found something else that will motivate me. If I get to the stage where there's a lot of negatives, I don't want to go into my job every day, I don't want to get out of bed to go to my job, I start to look for a new role, I start to change, I start to look and adapt and learn something new and move on to that next challenge. And I think that's key for anybody, for any career that you're in. If you get to the stage where you don't enjoy it, you need to start looking for something else. You need to start looking for a move to another company, or even potentially looking at completely rejigging what career you're in. As long as you enjoy what you do, as long as you're passionate about what you do every day, then you're good. I think you're in a good place from my point of view. So one question I've been asked is, does it bother me that I work in a mainly male environment? And And it's true, the IT industry does struggle to recruit women to it as a career and as an industry. I'm not 100% sure. I understand some of the challenges and understand why there's not a lot of women that want to go into IT. As I said, I've been passionate about technology and computing since I was about 14 or 15, and it's always been the end goal. I've never felt alienated working in the male environment. I've always got on with all my male colleagues. They've always been quite willing to listen to me. Yes, there are some times where it's frustrating, and I wish more women were in the IT industry. I genuinely do. It's part of the reason that I now I'm quite visual and quite vocal about what I do and who I am in the IT industry, and I'm hoping that by being that role model, that figurehead that people can see on stage at events or in videos or on podcasts or writing blogs about IT, that other people will see that it's not just males that work in IT and will be encouraged to come and join the IT industry. Every day is different, as I said. It's always a challenge. There's always something new to learn. There's always someone new to actually interact with, and I really enjoy that. And I just hope that others want to follow in my path and join me in the IT industry. A question I've also got here is, if you could say one thing to your younger self about your career, what would it be? That's a toughie, because I've had some times in my career where I've moved to the wrong job, or I've done something wrong and had to rethink about how to change my career path. But ultimately, every one of those career changes and those career paths choices have led to where I am today, and that's really working for my dream company, right? I'm working for Microsoft. So I don't think I have any regrets. I think what I'd tell my younger self is just keep believing, keep doing it. You will get your dream job one day, and just believe in yourself. That's all you can ask. Work hard and believe in yourself. So thank you for tuning in today, and hopefully this video has been useful. I'm more than happy to answer any questions if anybody has any other questions or follow-up questions to what I've said in this video. As I said, I'm really passionate about IT, and I hope that the next generation wants to follow suit and join me in the IT industry. My contact details are on screen right now and below in the show notes, so please do reach out to me and I'd be happy to discuss anything with you in the future.